Hey folks, Dave here, unboxing my Christmas present from my wife as Jack stops by. Hi Jack. I'll try to put up some comments when I see them over here. I'm off to the side though. I got the computer on my right, so I can't really see it here. I'll try to monitor it the best I can um, from the side over here. As I'll put up my little monitoring station. And let's take a look to see what I got here. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I got. I think I've already mentioned it. And we'll just put this over here for right now. And yeah, so we got a couple here to go through here. I don't know if we'll get through them all tonight, but we have 1981 and Butch Hobson's with California. I had no idea that Butch Hobson played with California. No idea. And that's, as much as a pain as it is sorting out these cards, it is kind of fun discovering, I guess is the best word. I'm discovering some of these players that played on teams I wasn't aware of. And every time I do this, there's always a handful of guys. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that this guy played here and this guy played here. This is the hard part, is trying to cut this open here without making a mess. All right, so let's flip this over. All righty, and we already made the mess. Oh, it's going to be a mess. I should have cut it from the top, but I didn't want to mess up the cards. Barbara stops by and Philip stops by. Philip was playing a pretty good baseball game early. I had to make room for these cards here, Philip. So I was in my closet cleaning it out because since I fixed the cellar here, I had stuff everywhere in the closet. So I had to clean out the closet so I could make room for some more cards. So that's what I was doing. Oh, I like to pull out the ballpark cards here when I get them. Okay, so let's go and have some fun as Barbara stops by as well. Alrighty, so let's see what we can do here. So we probably need to move these off to the side. This is not the best way to do this. I really made a mess out of this one here. So I'm going to do American League and National League like I usually do. Alrighty, so Toronto's down the bottom. National League, National League, National, 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 National. So all these are National League. And then combined totals I put off to the side because I really don't use them. I don't throw them away or anything, but I don't really use them. All right, so now we got Cleveland, Chicago. So I think it's Chicago, then Cleveland. I try to go alphabetical sometimes. Detroit, Milwaukee, Minnesota. More Detroit. Kansas City. What's that? Kansas City would probably be right about there. Milwaukee, Minnesota, New York, National, Philadelphia National. So now we got a whole bunch of Nationals over here. Combined totals. And so now we're back to Chicago, American League, Oakland, MNO, Atlanta National, Montreal National. Okay. And Mike stops by. Mike likes his payoff pitch too. I do. I like my payoff pitch. I really do. That's why I got it. And I was talking the Jucket there. I was like, what should I get for seasons? I was gonna have my wife get me an APA season, but it was like $90 something, maybe close to $100, and she'd never go for that. But for $80, I get 2 payoff pitch seasons. She was okay with that. Ron stops by, Ron McGrath. And Phillips missed a shutout by 1 at bat. Oh, that's tough. At least that was a pretty good try, though. And Robert stops by. He likes to pay off pitch as well. Yep, I do too. I get, again, the Ron Jucket card. Call that my Jucket card. Okay, so now we got some A's here. So Baltimore is probably the first one, right? Then Boston, Jerry Remy, and then California. So I need to slide these down. I like to go in alphabetical order because then once I have all the teams set up, I can really get into a groove as far as like dealing cards once I have all the teams. And this is 1981, by the way. Dave Frost. You're familiar with Dave Frost. And Jeff stops by. Merry Christmas, Dave. Everyone, a new subscriber likes the channel. I've been binge watching lots of the replay videos over the weekend. Oh, cool. Thanks, Jeff. I did that too. When I stumbled on a new channel, I binge watched a whole bunch of videos, and it was really kind of fun. Getting caught up on some things. All righty. So California, Chet Lemon. I always liked Chet Lemon. I don't know why. He was just somebody. You get his baseball card and you watch him on TV, and he was just a fun guy to watch. He really was. All righty. How am I doing here? Milwaukee, Minnesota. All right, here's New York. Oakland. Okay, I have Seattle. Oh, Texas. And then Toronto. Okay. So that looks pretty good to me like that. And then my National League guys. All right, so let me rip through some more of these. So I got a whole bunch of payoff pitch seasons now. And I'm pretty excited about that because now I got a whole bunch of playoffs I want to play. Rich Dower, Baltimore. I always like Baltimore too. Oh, but never heard of this guy, Chico Walker in Boston. You guys ever heard of Chico Walker in Boston? I've never heard of him. Oh, I messed up. Okay, so Baltimore. I already messed up. All right, let me catch this. So Baltimore, Boston. And I need to leave space because these piles start falling over real easy. All right, so this was California. Yep, okay. And now Baltimore's over here. Jim Palmer. All right, get the Jim Palmer card here. It's always fun to see some of the cards here of some guys that you're going to be playing. And Ray around the layout asks, no, these came in all cut. You can see this stack over here. These come in all cut, ready to go. And that's why I buy them, because these are the best cards in the business. When it comes to cards and dice cards in our industry, if you will, in our hobby, payoff pitch are the best by far. They're just the best. They're nice and hard. They're a little semi-gloss, I would say, and they're just the best in the business. And they're also not nearly as expensive as some other companies. So not only do you get the best cards, you get it's a single guy that does the game. Joe is a fantastic guy. Everybody likes Joe, and they're inexpensive, relatively speaking. All right, Terry Crowley back to Baltimore. Scott McGregor is a pitcher. Julio Valdez, a lot of guys, 81 Boston, I'm not familiar with. And I think back to my childhood, to when I'd be watching these guys and where I was living. I don't know if you guys do that. When you guys do cards like this, or you play a game, do you ever think back to where you lived? Because I do that, because I moved around as a kid a little bit, and I try to remember where I was in like 78 and 81 and things like that. And that's kind of how I remember some of these teams, because I know in 83 I moved into a different place, and that's when I really kind of faded away from baseball. I think I was, at that point, I was like 15 or 16, and I was working, and I ended up getting a car, and I just kind of got away from baseball. I was just at that age where I was doing different things. So, like I said, my heydays was 77, 78, right through 82. John Tudor for Boston. I like to pull these out. And Modine says Chico played in the longest game in baseball history. Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that. What game was that? Help me out with that one there. Was that the one that there was a minor league game one time that went deep, and the guy's wife wouldn't let him in the house because she didn't believe that the game went like 20 innings or something like that. Is that the story? Combined. All right, so now back Gary Gaetti from Minnesota. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. And Richard says, have I heard of 49 Sports on the Turf Football? I think I was watching I forget the guy's name that designed it. I was watching him play that, so I'm familiar with it. I probably need to look into it a little bit more, to be honest with you. It looked quite busy for a football game, but then again, sometimes everything looks busy when you're just watching a video, and when you play it, it's really not. But there was a lot of fast action cards he was flipping. That's the one thing I did pick up on that. Sometimes when I check out a new game or I watch a video, I look to see, is this something? Is this going to be a very busy game, a deep game? Am I going to have to print out a lot of things? And those are the things that go through my head is when I look at a new game. 33 inning spanning 2 months. Yeah, okay. Bill drops by. Yeah, this was a nice Christmas present, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, of course, my wife and I, we never buy for each other. And I said, let's get something this year. So she sent me some links, and I sent her some links, and we both kind of came through. So I was pretty happy about that. Phil Garner played for a couple of teams, huh? Wasn't aware of that. P-Jet stops by. Hi, P-Jet. I'm just kind of sorting some cards here. This was my Christmas present, and I just spent tonight cleaning my closet. I stumbled on a whole bunch of Strat basketball seasons, if you can believe it. I know so I had bought a couple, and somebody had sent me some, and I had some Strat basketball, and I enjoy Strat basketball. I really do. But my closet was all messed up because it was during the flood, and we threw a whole bunch of things in this well, it's a cabinet, it's a moving cabinet. And when we moved it around, everything shook around. So I finally opened it up, and I found some old hockey cards in there. I did. I might have some really expensive hockey cards in my little thing over here. And so I just neatened everything up and put everything away. And I put some of my Strat in the cabinet because I have another one over here for payoff pitch that I'm going to probably have exclusively for payoff pitch. And that was the AAA game. Yeah, I think that was here in Rhode Island, wasn't it? Was it a Pawtucket, Rhode Island? If I'm not mistaken about that longest game. I remember I hear the stories about it. More National League. Sparky Lyle was with Philadelphia, huh? That I didn't know. I love stumbling on things like that because it's just stuff I'm unaware of. Oh, back to Minnesota, Seattle. If you don't screw it up like I did over here, they do kind of come in some kind of an order. Or at least you can kind of move it around a little bit, and they do go alphabetically by team. And I still love the cards, the team cards here. These are one of my favorite things about this game. This is where the color comes in. I really like because they get the team colors and they're looking really nice. So I really do like those. Connie Lansford and Chuck Rainey of the Red Sox. Freddie Patek with California. He was always a Royal. I associate him with the Royals. It's funny how they do. I'm not sure how they lay this out. This is kind of strange how they lay this out when you get the packs for payoff pitch. It's not like alphabetical by player, and it's not alphabetical by team. It's just, but some of it is. Like I'll go down the line here with Oakland, Seattle. I'll get two for Texas and one for Toronto. Then I hit the National League for a bunch of teams. And then that goes alphabetical. Pete Rose with the Phillies. Nice. Can't wait to play some of these games here. Combined totals. All right. Bruce Sutter with I was going to say the St. Louis Blues. It's not the St. Louis Blues. I know that. New York, Toronto. And then we got some National Leagues here. And then we have another ballpark here, Atlanta Ballpark. So we'll put that over here. So while we're sitting here chatting, what did you guys get? What did you guys get for Christmas? Do you guys get any games, any seasons? Let me know. And I'll read them off. I can't really get to the screen right now to post them, but I can read them off. I'm interested to see what people got. Because Black Friday was interesting. We saw where a lot of people went on Black Friday, but I'm interested to see what people got for Christmas, if they did, or what they did for Christmas, so to speak. because it's like we talked about. It's so hard, for people to buy for us. This hobby is very, very different, and it's not something. Nobody's going to surprise you with anything unless your significant other does a lot of digging and really knows what you're doing. Like my wife would had no clue on where to go. I mean, maybe she talked to Jucket and he might, help her out and surprise you, but she's not going to do it on her own. That's the thing. And so that's why it's hard to buy for us gamers like this, because I mean, if you got PlayStation or Xbox, right? You just it's PlayStation or Xbox, and you can buy pretty much any game you want, and it's going to work. But no one here, she's not going to know payoff pitch from Strat, from anything like that. And I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just it's such a different hobby. So, all right. So Marlon said he got a printer so we can print out some PDFs. Yeah. What did you get? Did you get a I assume it's a color printer. Did you get a inkjet or did you get a laser? Because I picked up a laser years ago and I love it, and I'm hoping it never dies because it is the best printer I've ever had, and it does such a good job. I really do like that printer that I picked up years ago, and I just got lucky. I went into Staples, and they matched the price that Amazon had. So when they matched the price, it come down like another $50 or something like that. And I was like, wow, what a steal. This was a steal of a laser printer. It really was. Rusty Coons is still playing. This is 81. Now, this is the year that had the crazy playoffs. That's kind of why I got this one, because I want to play out the playoffs. And there's a lot of playoffs to play here in 81, because that's the year they had this split season or something like that. And I wonder if that's when I kind of get out of baseball too, is when they had the strike or the lockout or whatever you want to call it. I think I kind of checked out of baseball. Again, I was moving. I went into a different place. I wasn't near there was a right across the street from 78, 79, 80, and 81. Right across the street from me was a little convenience store, and that convenience store sold baseball cards, and that's where I got sold baseball cards, and that's where I got all my baseball cards, was from that little store. And then when I moved, we were nowhere near a store. We were on the other side of the highway, and I couldn't get to any stores to get baseball cards. So I stopped collecting them at that point there. So all my baseball cards are from like the same 5-year period. You got an inkjet HP brand. The new inkjets might be pretty good. Some of the new ones might be pretty good. I just was sour on the inkjets for so many years because they would just dry up on me, and I would be so ticked off, and I would just be like, "Screw this," And like then you go to print, and the things would dry up on you. So if you didn't print every day, you'd be just trying to clean the thing. It was such a pain in the neck. I finally read up about laser, but I imagine the inkjets are a lot better now than when I was using them back in the day. At least I hope they are. So let me know how it goes with your printer. If you have good luck, like I said, my thing was the printer cartridges. They were this big and they lasted about a day. And that was with not heavy printing. And I just got tired of running out of ink and then having the ink dry up and nothing printed right. But again, I wasn't buying anything good for a printer either. So maybe you got a good one, and I hope you did. Jim, I always thought this guy, Jim Cat, right? That's how you say his name, Jim Cat. I thought he was with Boston. Uh-oh, there's Jerry Koosman. He was missing. In one of the games, he was missing. That I was following along that he didn't make it in, was it Action PC? He didn't make it in Action PC in 82 or something like that. On some of the people, it was kind of weird how he was missing, and people were making not a big stink, but they were like, well, how can you be missing this guy? So I don't know if that was the new release of the game or if that was an old release, but I guess Koosman was unavailable, and I think they created a patch for it to fix it. some more National League. Where are we here? Alrighty. Okay, Kuzma was missing the 72 season action PC. Okay, so that's what it was, which is strange, isn't it? I think that's strange. I don't know how that would happen. Although some people said that they had him, right? Some people said that they were good. Exhibition Stadium. I think Juckett said he had him in his game. Veteran Stadium. I like those colors too. I really do. Keith stops by. Thanks for coming by, Keith. As I'm just this is my Christmas present here. And Larry says, and the Santa means Santa brought this, so I must have been good. I hope so. I hope I was good. I know I wasn't bad. I was too busy having a bad year to be bad. If that makes any sense. Another stadium. Oh, 2 stadiums. I love the stadium cards. And what the best thing about these stadium cards is not only do you get the colors of the team, you need this. You need these for ballpark wheelhouse and in play stuff and your errors in your range. So these are not only looking good and a good way to put them on top of the teams when you're doing your teams, but you need them in the game. And I really do like that. All right, so we have the Yankees, Texas, and now we're back to National. A couple guys in the National League. Now we're back to the American League. And so RJL says, as much as I love payoff pitch, inside pitch is the system I use for replays. They're both very good games. I remember when I was looking at these games and I almost went with inside pitch. And then I tried the payoff pitch and it just worked for me. And then I wrestled with it and I got away from it. And then I went back and I just kind of fell in love with it again. And now, of course, I have a ton of seasons and I'm going to be playing a lot of it. It just kind of worked for whatever reason. And that's the great thing about this hobby is, what works for you might work for me, or another game might work for me. And nobody is wrong. Nobody is wrong whatsoever. So that's the great thing, is that everyone can play their own game. And we all have fun. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is to have fun. And if you're having fun, then that's what we're here for. And it just doesn't matter, if you're playing this, that, or the other thing, as long as we're having fun. And let's see here. Larry says, thoughts on printing shootout hockey season cards. Let me see. I did a couple ways. When I first started going down to Staples, and I had them printed on some super thick cards. And then I was like, well, that's kind of overkill. So now I just print them on 110 card stock right out of my LaserJet, and they come out pretty good. And I think they come 3 to a page, and you could just kind of cut them right out of there. So the shootout ones are easy because they're team cards, and there's 3 to a sheet. So even if you got a big season, like 30, even if you got 30 teams or something like that, you're only going to be printing 10 pages. You're not going to be printing 30 or 40 pages or more. I think I took, was it payoff pitch or season ticket? I took down the Staples one time, and it was like 300 pages. And they wanted like several $100s to print it out because it was a lot of pages. And I was just like, yeah, I'm all set with that. So needless to say that I never did that. I just either print them out myself, or sometimes, like now, I like to order the professional cards like these. I call these professional ones because I know they're gonna be right and they're gonna look good, and But I mean, season ticket, because it's really I think season ticket is the one I like to print out the most. I think it's laid out really nice. The cards are really nice. So I don't mind printing out the season ticket cards. That's one I don't mind. New Year's Eve plans. Ooh, well, me and Juckett might have a very special New Year's Eve planned. It all depends on how things go. But yeah, I've been talking to him about that. And my wife was kind of talking to me about what she wants to do. So we're going to try to see how New Year's might work out here. But stay tuned, dude. We might have an online New Year's thing going on this year if all goes well. Because we're not going to go out. We haven't gone out for New Year's in many, many years. So she had talked about getting food. I'm like, man, I've eaten so much food over Christmas. I said, I don't know if I really want to get food. Seriously. And she laughed and says, yeah, I kind of agree with you. You know? Keith says that it can handle 3 sheets of 110-pound stock. I just put in a whole bunch of 110-pound stock. The key is if you're printing 110-pound stock, and this is what I learned on at least on my printer, is you have to set it for that in the settings, and it prints really slow. Did I screw this up? I think I did. Yeah, I did. It prints really slow. So and because if you just try to print it out as normal, just print out this 110-pound card stock as normal, it's going to jam up your machine and screw up your cartridges. I think. I don't know about an inkjet, but at least with a laser jet, it messes it up. So, set it for the 110-pound or higher. It's going to go slow, but it's going to come out really good, and it's not going to wreck anything on the printer. And I've screwed that up many times where I've just printed it out and it's like, oh man, here comes the card stock through too fast, and it wrecks that one and the next sheet. And then you got to kind of clean it all up, and it's just a mess. So take your time and make sure you set it for the proper paper. What am I trying to say? The proper paper thickness. That's what I was trying to say. Make sure you get the proper paper thickness. And World's Worst Gamer was sick for Christmas. You know, we did Christmas Eve here with my wife's family, and people kind of popping in all day, helping us set up and dropping things off. And we got a phone call, and one guy's like, yeah, one of us has got COVID, just tested positive for COVID. And it's like, jeepers creepers. And then someone else called and canceled on us. So we had a lot of cancellations, which was fine. We still had a lot of people over, but I was sick last year with COVID, as if you remember. So I was the one that was down and out last year. And this year, I avoided it this year, luckily, but some other people got it. So that kind of stinks. All right, so I'm almost through the American League here. And now it's getting kind of crazy here. I got to really pay attention. Then I always go back and I double check all the teams because I've made so many mistakes when I do it this way, especially when I'm talking. All righty. And then I got to check the little A's here to make sure that I got Chicago and New York in the proper divisions. Because I sometimes will put a Met in with the Yankees and stuff like that. Toronto and then Atlanta. Alrighty, only 2 more piles here. And Marlon's facing kidney surgery tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to need you to get better. All right. Hopefully things are going to go well. They can do amazing things with surgery, Marlon. Keep that in mind. They can do amazing things. I had heart surgery, and I was pretty nervous about that, but they do amazing things nowadays. In fact, they didn't even, I don't even have the hole anymore that they went in with. It's so small I can't even see the hole anymore. So hopefully they can fix it. But yes, we're going to be thinking about you, and we want you to come out of that, and we want you back playing some games for sure. As we have Fenway Park and Candlestick Park. But yeah, they were looking at more surgery for my heart, and we're holding off. And hopefully I can get back on the right path. I fell off the path over Christmas and things didn't go well. So I'm hoping it's just because I ate too much and it's not because my heart's acting up again. But I had a couple of good days and then I had a couple of bad days, and it's so frustrating. More National League here, and then we go to my combined totals, and then I go back to the American League. All right, so more National League, and then we have Comiskey Park. You know what's kind of weird is I never did a lot of White Sox on my channel. And all of a sudden now I started, if you notice, I've been streaming some White Sox games. All right, here's my favorite guy right here. Reggie Jackson. Love Reggie Jackson. Even though he played for the Yankees, I still like Reggie Jackson. Rudy May. Dick Drago with Seattle, huh? Dick Drago with Seattle. Is he 36 years old? Is that what that 36 means? 36 years old? Roy Lee Jackson. That's not Reggie Jackson. It's a Roy Lee Jackson. And then I got some more of the National League. All righty. Piles are getting smaller now. Frank Tanana with Boston. 28 years old. Why? All right, I got to stop here for a second. Why do I not remember Frank Tanana, who was one guy I remember pitching for the Angels, and then Rick Burleson's with California. So did they trade Burleson for Tanana? That is weird. That's what's fun about going through these things. It's like I don't remember Frank Tanana with the Red Sox. But then again, that year was disrupted, so maybe he was. Greg Nettles making an appearance here on the channel. Back to the National League. Metropolitan Stadium. All right, so we get some combined totals. All right, so more national. All right, so then we have some Kansas City. What do you guys think of the football games this weekend? 3 games. Was it 3 or 4 games on Christmas? That was nuts. It was like and it looked like there was nobody at the Kansas City game. In Kansas City, you figure it'd be selling out because, they're a really good team. And especially with Taylor Swift, I figured the place would be packed. But it looked like there was a lot of people missing on Christmas. They had so many games on Christmas. I mean, it was great because I got to kick back and watch a bunch of football when I was, in between whatever we were doing. But holy cow, that was really nuts. All those games, and there was some outcomes that were pretty nuts too. So these are all National League. And did I hear that Purdy for San Francisco got hurt? It's like, what's up with that? There's so many quarterbacks hurt this year. It sucks. I mean, because you don't want to see backups play. You want to see the good guys play. All right, so should be my last go around here for the American League. Chicago. Jorge, or is it George Order? I call him Jorge Order, but Ron said it was George. Cecil Cooper with Milwaukee. I liked him in Boston. Bucky Dent, 1981. Dun, dun, dun. Danny Ainge. Still playing ball at this point. And now we have some National League. Till we get to the combined totals. And then I got a couple more American League with California and New York. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just make sure that everybody here is got my elastics over here. Love my big elastic bag over here. That'll last me forever. That'll outlast me. And the Colts wide receiver was cleared to play, but he didn't play. That's interesting. Frank Tanana, 1981. Traded from California with Dorsey for Rudy to the Red Sox for Lynn and Renko. Interesting. All right, Seattle. I have to make sure that this is the only chance you get to go through this, because if you don't go through this and you assume you did it right, if you're missing a guy, you'll never find him because he could be on any team. So this is kind of my proofread. And I will catch one or two that's messed up. Okay, so it looks like these are all Seattle. And we'll put Seattle here with the Kingdom, and Seattle is done. All righty. Who else do I have here? California. We have Anaheim Stadium. So I'll just go with who I have here. And the Colts are still in the hunt. I was looking at the standings, and there's a ton of teams in the hunt. There's a lot of 8 and 7 and 7 and 8 teams that are right on the bubble. So these last couple of weeks should be pretty fun if you're into the football league. Because really, like, especially in the American League, where everybody's 8 and 7 to 7 and 8. In the other side there, the National League, the NFC conference. There's a lot of bad teams at the bottom, so there's less teams fighting for spots over there. That Patriots win over Denver, that crushed Denver. That dropped them from 8 and 7 to 7 and 8. That was a big flip for them. So, but it is fun. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that and check in on the games. I want to do some football too. I want to do I don't know if I'm gonna do some quick play or whatever, but I like football because then you have the races. You come down to the end of the season, you try to see which teams are gonna win the big games. So, and the Dolphins, yes, Robert, the Dolphins are having a heck of a season. Good for them. Us Pats fans up here, we're bummed, but we saw this coming. We had a 20-year run of dominance up here, so we've done our winning, and of course we still want to win, but we're not nearly as mad as people make us out to be. I mean, come on, you get Brady for 20 years and Belichick. So we had a good run. It's like the Canadians. The Canadians in hockey, they had a run of so many years, and now they struggle, and they've been struggling for a while, but they had their run. They had their day, And so we're not expecting anything out of the Patriots for quite some time now. It's just the way it is. Well, we'd like to, but yeah, we're just not a good team, and it's what can you do? Alrighty. So now we got the White Sox, and again, this is the team that I don't know a lot about the White Sox, but it was funny that I just started playing them. I think I had a couple of series in my 1979 replay with which I'm using Digital Diamond to keep the stats for. Is they had a couple of key games or a couple of key series against teams that were on the bubble of the playoffs. So I like to play out those games. I don't necessarily like to play the best teams all the time, but when you get into the playoff race, you play the teams that are like 3, 4, 5 games out, and no matter who they play, it's really kind of fun. So if anybody's looking for Jerry Koosman, I found him. You want to put him in the game. Oh, well, this is the other thing that's really great about Payoff Pitch. I don't know if you can see this, but he says Jerry Koosman, 1981 Chicago, September 1 to October 2. So it shows on the card. Yeah, I don't know if you can read that or not, but it shows you the dates that he played. And I really do like that. I like the fact that it shows you like when they played. So if you're doing as played, you can kind of look at it and say, oh, well, this guy was not on the team at this point, and so you wouldn't play him. So I do like that. I don't know if I want to beat the Bills. I'm kind of rooting for the Bills. I don't know why. I like the Bills. And I thought they would do good with that. Was it Josh Allen? And they lost games they shouldn't have lost. It's like what's up with you guys? Really. They just lost too many games that they shouldn't have lost. And so it's, how do you take them serious now? And then they come back and they started to win some games. But boy, by this time in 1981, all my 70s heroes are pretty much out of Boston, huh? It's too bad. The Lynns and the Burlesons and the Remys and all these guys here that I really liked in Boston back in the day. They're kind of not on the team in 81. So I don't know if we're going to beat the Bills again. Probably not. Even if it's at home, why we ever beat Denver? We need a good pick. Although Belichick screws up his picks, but he might not be around next year. That's too bad. He had a good run, and now he's kind of getting ridden out of town because the team has sucked for 3 years. But I got to see if I can get Second Season Express to work. That still takes a little while to play. And I don't think there's a football game aside from like just a final score game that plays any quicker than that. Oh, the drive-by drive games sometimes do, but even they can take a little bit to play. All right, so the Royals are done at Royals Stadium. I drove by that in 1986, actually. We drove out to California, and we were driving down the highway through Kansas City, and we drove right through, and we saw Royal Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium. They were right next door to each other. It was kind of neat, actually. We didn't stop or anything, but we drove right through. But they were really close together, and that was just really different for two guys from Boston that were driving across country that would just never saw two stadiums next to each other like that. We always had Foxborough Stadium and Fenway Park, and they were 30 miles away from each other or whatever it is. Doc Medic, that's a name from the past. Jim Sundberg. I always start singing that song when Sundberg comes up. Sundberg, you better get in. I always sing that song. All right, so where is Texas? Is Arlington Stadium, but it's not really Texas colors though, right? Texas really didn't have any silver in them. Maybe they did in 81. But I'm hoping that Purdy guy's okay because San Francisco, they got hosed last year when all those guys got hurt and they were playing with the janitor for quarterback. That was too bad. And then, I was kind of pulling for Cincinnati because they kind of stink. And then their quarterback gets hurt. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for Cincinnati right now, but it just, they got that kid that was pretty good. And now he's done. This has been the year of quarterbacks getting hurt. I mean, what did they say? There was like 13 teams on at least their second string, if not their third string quarterback. Man, it's just a bad year. I mean, they try to sell these guys, when they do it's Mahomes and Brady. And now it's like, who are they going to sell for a quarterback for the playoffs? All these guys are hurt. It's all the backup quarterbacks. I think Flacco's the only guy I know, and he's been around for a while too. All right, got the Oakland Seals. They got the Seals colors. All right, almost done the American League here. What do we got? The Tigers. Oh, I don't know if you guys are fans of Rush at all. I'm a big Rush fan. And I don't know if you saw on Facebook, I got the Geddy Lee autobiography. It is unbelievable. One of the best autobiography books I've ever read. I'm only 3 chapters in, and I'm blown away. The upbringing that he went through, and that's where I am right now. I'm not even at the part where he formed the band yet. Just that is unbelievable, and it's so entertaining, and it very sad as well. Oh, we have Kirk Gibson here for the Tigers. Kirk Gibson. Who was the 81 World Series? Was that? No, Gibson was 88. Who was 81 World Series? Probably the Yankees, I would imagine, right? But yeah, that book by Geddy Lee, My Effing Life. If you like Rush at all, even if you don't, the read, it's such a good read. It really is. I'm pretty Yankees Dodgers in '81. Yeah. And Mark was listening to Geddy's book in the car earlier today. I watched some of the videos. He's on tour or was on tour. He actually came to Boston, and my neighbor went and didn't tell me. He's like, "Oh, did you go see Geddy Lee?" I'm like, "No." It's like, I'm a Rush guy. At least you could have called me and said you want to go. But I was watching some of the videos on that of the interviews and stuff, and that was kind of neat. How people just, was asking questions, and he was, talking about his book and reading from the book. And holy crap, it was this book is something else. And I'm only like, let's say, I think I'm about 5% the way through the book because I read a whole bunch. I'm a slow reader, but I read a whole bunch the other night, and I looked at my bookmark, and it's like, holy crap, I haven't even scratched the surface of this book yet. I'm gonna put Ron Guidry on the top for the Yankees. Ron Guidry. There we go. I like to put guys in the top that I know. It just makes me feel better. All right, so only a few more teams, and then we'll dig out and we'll hit the National League here in '81. So we're going to go Milwaukee next. So we got Milwaukee, Cleveland, and I know I saw Toronto over here. I better have seen Toronto. Yep, there's Toronto. Okay. There was one time I thought I was missing one of these cards. I was really heartbroken, and it was in here somewhere. I love the cards, the ballpark cards, as I talked about. Oh, and I got my it's over here, my my card shuffler, and it works really well for the shootout cards as well as the fast action cards for payoff pitch. So, in case you were wondering, yeah, that works out really well. As we finish with Bob McClure of the Milwaukee Brewers. So yeah, I tried them out because I was hoping it would work for the fast action cards, and it did. So I was pretty happy with that. All righty, let's finish up the American League. And yeah, Mark, the parts about his parents. Yeah, I just got to that. That's chapter 3, and I just started reading about the Holocaust with his parents, and it's pretty mind blowing. And did you read the part about Steve Shutt? I thought that was pretty darn cool. That he was friends with Steve Shutt, and I was telling Juckett about that today. I was like, that was just pretty sweet. It's that's why I love reading these books about famous people, and sometimes the paths they take, the people they grew up with, and sometimes you do run into somebody that was put Danny Ainge on the top here. You run in they grew up with somebody that was also famous, and later on it's like, oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah, yeah. Bears Den says they referred to Neil as the new guy. 30 years later. Yeah, that was like a running joke, but it was a fantastic running joke. I love that. All right, so what do we got now? Cleveland and then Baltimore. Yeah, they were on something. I think they were on an Eddie Trunk show, or there's some show on. I don't know if it was on TV or the internet. I was watching, and they're like, "Yeah, well, Neil's still the new guy," and people laugh because it's been 30 or 40 years. It sucks that he got sick and died so fast. That really sucks. I had Neil die, and then the next year the guy from Metal Church. So my two favorite bands. Uh, they still might tour, but it's not going to be the same. I don't like the Metal Church new singer. I hate to say that, but I kind of don't. He's good for metal, but he's a little too growly for me. I like the other singers so much better. A little bit more melodic. So I don't think I'm going to go see them this year. They're playing in Vermont. I could go up and visit Juckett and watch Metal Church at the same time, but um but I'm not going to see them with this singer. If they had the old singer, I'd definitely go up and go bug Jucket for a weekend and check out the band in Vermont, but not with this guy. And I didn't like the new album either. It just wasn't mine. It's a very angry album, probably because they're mad at their last singer for dying. But all right, so almost done here with the American League. The National League should go a little bit quicker. I think there's less teams. All right, here we go. So Baltimore done. So the American League 1981 is in the books, almost in the cabinet. I'm gonna have to play the playoffs here with that. All right, so there's that. So let's go national now. So we're gonna start with the A's with Atlanta, and then we got Chicago and Cincinnati, Houston. I'm gonna go L.A., Montreal, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, San Diego, San Francisco, St. Louis. All righty, back to Chicago, New York, Chicago, oh, Cincinnati. Good thing I caught that. Houston. Billy Smith. There's a lot of hockey guys that play baseball too, I guess. Billy Smith, right? Montreal. Jeff Reardon in Montreal. New York. Philadelphia. Tug McGraw. I didn't know Tug McGraw was a pitcher. I maybe I get him mixed up with Greg Lazinski. But every time I play Philadelphia, I'm like, I thought Tug McGraw was like a big like outfielder or something like that. Alrighty. So these are going a little bit quicker. Al Raboski with Atlanta, huh? 32 years old. Montreal. San Diego. Back to Atlanta. Chicago. Cincinnati. Houston. Bob Knepper for Houston. Bob Welch. Rusty Staub. Always liked Rusty Staub, too. Omar Moreno for Pittsburgh. Jeffrey Leonard. And back to Bill Buckner. Billy Buckner. With Chicago. Dickie Thorne with Houston. Jerry Roos. Is it Rose? And PJet says, in the liner notes for permanent waves, it says Steve Shutt, thanks for the sticks. Interesting. Yeah, he said, PJet, have you read that book? You must have read the Geddy Lee book. If not, you're going to love it. I think you really will. He talks about Steve Shutt, going to school with Steve Shutt. I won't give away what he said, unless I already did. New York, Philadelphia. Tim Foley. I think Tim Foley was a safety for the Patriots, too. Audiobook is great because you can hear. Oh, he reads it himself. That's interesting. Oh, now you got me intrigued. Now I might want to go get the audio version. I didn't know he read it himself. That would be kind of neat. Is like to follow along. Oh, now you got me thinking now. That I could have the book out, listen to him read it. That would be pretty cool. Pat Rooney from Montreal. Steve Rogers from Montreal. Chili Davis, San Francisco. Yeah, I get San Francisco mixed up with San Diego a lot too. Oh boy, I got a Cincinnati here in the wrong column. Alan Ashby for Houston. Frank LaCourte for Houston. Ron Renicky. A couple of Expos. A couple of Mets. Steve Carlton. Nice. Oh, I always liked Kent DeCulve. He was always the sidearm was really kind of fun watching Kent DeCulve throw. They said it messed up a lot of pitchers too because it was coming in at a weird a weird angle. Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Atlanta. Yeah, the National League goes a little bit quicker. Oh, you're waiting for that book to come out? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is a pretty thick book. I got it for Christmas. I think my brother gave it to me. It was either my brother or my uncle. I know they just someone handed it to me and I opened it up. I was like, oh, and then I started reading it. And it's like I needed to pay attention to Christmas and I'm too busy reading the Geddy Lee book. Then I come home and read it some more. Atlanta. Ken Reitz. German Barranca from Cincinnati. Scott Brown is a Scott Brown in my hockey league. Phil Garner. All right, there we go. Nolan Ryan. 34 years old. Oh, that's a good idea. Ask the library to order it and go in and read it that way. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Bill Lee from Montreal. Mookie Wilson. Larry Boa. Bill Robinson. Warning, Will Robinson. David Green and Dave Lapointe for St. Louis. King Louis. Couple of Pirates over here. 3 Pirates, actually. Montanez, Madlock, and Romo. As we chip away here. You wanted the big book of baseball. Oh, his big book of baseball. Geddy Lee's book. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh, back to Los Angeles. Craig Swan. Not familiar with him. Don Sutton, 36 years old. I love how they have the ages on here. It really kind of gives you an idea where people went, like at the end of their career, and if they were in the twilight of their career or the middle of their career. George Vukovich. I know Pete Vukovich. I didn't know there was a George Vukovich. Candelaria, 28 years old. Barry Foote for Chicago. Now I got them all over the place here. Glenn Hubbard going to the cupboard. We got Chicago, Cincinnati, Terry Poole for Houston. Dusty Baker. Always liked Dusty Baker, too. Elias Sosa. Bake McBride. There's another good Philly. Bake McBride. I got Bake McBride baseball cards. Sixto Lescano with St. Louis, huh? I thought he was a Milwaukee guy. Interesting. Back to Atlanta. Chicago, Cincinnati, Kiko Garcia, Mike Scioscia, Terry Francona. I didn't know he played. Huh. Terry Francona with Montreal. Ellis Valentine for Robert. Bob Boone and Nino Espinosa for the Phillies. Johnny Ray, Juan Banila, Billy North, Steve Brown, Jim Cat, another one. Cat. We're getting there. Robert Story. Here's my autobiography. I was born, I streamed Cards and Dice Baseball, I died. The end. It's a tragic story. Oh, yeah, that would be a paperback, I would think, right? You ever think about that? I like while I was reading his book, I was like, if I ever wrote my book, it'd be so freaking boring. Seriously, there's nothing to tell. It's like, holy cow. Like nothing like really cool happened, and I didn't know anybody really cool, Everything I did was just fun little things like this. I did play hockey in high school against a couple of people that went to the NHL. It's about my claim to fame. One guy took a shot and knocked me into the net. I didn't feel so bad when I found out he made the NHL. I did have one guy in my high school played for the Giants, Mark Bavaro. He didn't know me, but I knew of him. He was a few years ahead of me, but it still was kind of cool rooting for a local guy to win the Super Bowl, and he did. He was really good too. He was a big boy, and he was a fantastic player, Bavaro. All right, so almost done. Louis, are you kidding me? 41-year-old Louis Tiant in Pittsburgh? Are you kidding me? 9 games. 9 games. Louis Tiant in Pittsburgh. Now I got to play Pittsburgh. Oh, it's caught, not cat? Okay. Okay, I messed that one up. I've not done a full replay with anything baseball. I can tell you that. I've done a couple of hockey individual teams, as you probably know, the Seals, and I'm working on the Bruins in a couple of different seasons. Oh, PJ, I don't know if you heard, I was playing, I pulled out Shootout, and I was playing 69-70 Boston in Shootout. And I thought about maybe giving the season a go, either in Shootout or I was going to play maybe Hockey Blast Express maybe. And they beat the Rangers. This is a Shootout. They beat the Rangers, and then they lost to the Seals. The Seals beat them at the Boston Garden. And there was so many penalties on Boston, and the Seals just kept scoring on the power play. It was like, you got to be kidding me. Sparky Lyle with the Phillies, huh? Interesting. But yeah, I can't believe I lost to the Seals. So we're 1-1 on the season right now. And it kind of soured me. It's like, I don't even know if I want to play this anymore. How do you lose to the damn Seals, In Boston Garden in week 2, the year you won the cup, you're going to lose at home to the Seals. Come on. But it can happen. Joaquin Andujar. Fernando Valenzuela. Wow, 21 years old. 21 years old. Fernando Valenzuela. Look at all the Tufts. Look at all the blue on that card. That is nuts. That is nuts, Montreal. Lee Mazzilli. And we're kind of coming down to the end here. Joaquin Andujar with St. Louis. And I got my last stack here. And, Keith, I can't cross over. I can skate, but I can't cross over. I'm too afraid that if I bring my skate over, I'm going to trip and fall. So, no, I can skate, but I'm not a good skater at all. I see all these people crossing over. I don't dare to because I'm afraid that I'm gonna hit my other skate. Like I said, I played goalie for years, and I skated out, and I just kind of taught myself. And so, yeah, no, I'm not a good skater at all. I can get around, but I have no speed whatsoever. I just can't do it. Lee Smith with Chicago. Mike Lum. There's another name from the past. Mike Lum. I remember his card. Rick Ruschel. Cesar Cedeno and Hector Cruz. I thought Hector Cruz was with Houston, not Chicago. Jerry Royster. I got Pittsburgh here, Montreal. These are all over the place right now. These must have been the ones I screwed up. Jack Clark. Rick Rhoden. I didn't know the National League very well. They weren't on TV too much in the Boston area. Jesse Orozco. Gary Templeton, I knew. Vance Law. That sounds familiar. Ozzie Smith with San Diego. Jorgensen and Jeff Reardon with New York. I think Reardon would end up coming to Boston, right? Los Angeles, Montreal. Jeffrey Leonard with Houston. Danny Walling with Houston. Cincinnati. Who's going to be the last one? We have Howell, Vukovic, and Jack Perconti is our last guy. All righty. So these here are the combined totals. Want to make sure, because I don't use them. I use whatever is on the team. So I'll just have these off to the side, and these guys will go off to the side as we ask their wife some questions. $19.81 combined totals. All righty. And we're going to put Jeff Reardon on the top. So, and I'm not sure what the benefit of using these cards are. I suppose somebody the payoff pitch would know what it was, you know. All righty. So let's go here. We'll start with the Phillies because they're on top. We're doing pretty well here as we fly through this here. And Richard says, okay, I'm blaming you. I've never played payoff pitch. Just ordered it through. Just ordered it though. I have space for more games. I'm telling my wife it's my fault. Yes, I know. It is really fun. I gotta say, it just works for me. You know, it's one of the games that I really like. Fernando had 9 shutouts this year. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so we got Philadelphia. Tug McGraw. I won't list off all the guys. That would be annoying, but I did see Mike Schmidt and Steve Carlton. So I know a lot of these Phillies guys. That's because in '80 they went to the finals, right? So that's why I know a lot of the Phillies. Larry Christensen. Pete Rose with the Phillies. I didn't know Sparky Lyon was a Philly. I thought he was like a Tiger or something like that. All righty, so here's that. Let me know, Richard, if once you get payoff pitch, let me know how you like it. It's got a little bit of strat in it, you know, whereas you got the pitcher card and then the batter card, and you kind of use them both. There's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of its own thing. I think it's pretty fun. It took me a while to kind of get into the swing of things, but I overthought it like I always do. And once I stopped overthinking it, it went pretty well. And then I had to figure out if I was going to use fast action cards, dice, and charts, the newer charts, the older charts, you know. And once I got a system down, this game flies. I really like it. I know exactly what I'm looking for now and where to go. The rare plays are kind of fun. Although I still think Season Ticket has the best rare plays in the business. I did well. Let's put it this way: I've just had better luck with those. When I played Season Ticket, the rare play chances they seem to just be funner, if that makes any sense. Let's see, payoff pitch with rules in 12 teams for $3 PDF. Yeah, you can't beat it. It's you know, just you know, and once you start playing, you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna. And this season was what, 30 something bucks, $40 for a professionally printed season. I mean, that's friggin' awesome. It really is. So now I got to go to Pittsburgh. Schmidt had a monster year in 81 or 80. Yeah. I got to play more National League. I don't like to play National League because you got to change the pitchers more because the pitchers hit. And the American League, the DH, it just makes it easier. And that's what I'm used to because, you know, being in the American League East, that's all we did was DH. And I always thought it was weird seeing pitchers hit. But then you got Replay Gamer, who's out there in Cincinnati land, and he's only seen pitchers hit. So it's weird for him to have the DH. So it's kind of funny how different people grew up with different things, you know. But yeah, for $3 you get this game. You know, he has sales once in a while, mostly on the PDF stuff. I printed out the 79 set, and I did that a couple years ago, and I still play that. And Richard said, it looks like the kind of game he'd like. I don't like an over dependence on charts. He likes reading off of cards. Well, then, yeah, I think you can actually read most of the game off the fast action cards. I use them for certain things, not everything, but I think you can do a lot of it off the fast action cards. I incorporate that into my game, but I still like rolling dice to See, because what you do is, you got a pitcher card. Let me see if I can get a pitcher card here. So you get your pitcher card here, okay, and you roll 2d6, so you get a 2 to 12 roll. So you start here, and then depending what this says, you're either going to go to the ballpark card or you're going to go to the batter card to get your results, and that's it. And once in a while, you might have to take a look at, like what happens to the runners and stuff. But sometimes if you flip the faxed action card, it tells you what it is, and you're done. And Larry says he got payoff pitch because of me. He hasn't dug into it yet. Well, let me know when you do and what you think. Again, it's not for everyone. I think it's a fantastic game, but it doesn't mean that that everybody likes it. Oh, and when you order this game too, you have the option of having the lefty righty splits or just the generic version of the game. I always went with the lefty righty splits, even though I don't really know much about them, but I figure I'd rather have them than not. So keep in mind that you have the option of ordering just the generic batting cards or the lefty righty split. So most people probably want to go with the lefty righty split, I would think. As Mr. Baseman stops by, and Smelly Wrestling Geek comes by and says On Deck does it similar to that as well. Yeah, I did like the On Deck baseball. I did. I played that a little bit of that. I still think the cards are too big. They take up a lot of space. They do. And then it's kind of fictional too. And I know they come out with some other stuff, so I might start taking a look at On Deck again. I played it and I liked it, but because I'm a very finicky baseball guy, that fictional baseball doesn't do it for me. Even fictional hockey doesn't really do it. But because I like hockey a little bit more, I'm more, apt to like the fictional hockey. But fictional baseball really doesn't do it for me. And I played a couple of games and I thought it played pretty well, but I would love to see smaller cards in actual seasons, and that engine would work really well with that. So, yeah, so this was Busch Stadium for St. Louis. Only a few more teams to go, and 1981s will be in the books. Back to the chat room here. When you consider the quality and he prints every player, I'm still amazed that the payoff pitch price is still lower, about the same as most tabletop games. Yeah, I would agree. In fact, that's why I like the game, because it does come with everybody. There might be one guy that played one game that you might not see, like he might have pinch run or something like that, and he's not in here. But I don't think I've ever gotten stuck trying to find a guy for payoff pitch. And the quality of the cards, the price of the cards, and that they have everyone. Again, I got 2 seasons of this for the price of one app a season, even less than one app a season. And I'm not dumping on Apple by any means, because I still play Apple, I still like it. But if I can get everybody, and as I play these games, I like to play within the season, so I like to have everybody available to me. So for me, that's kind of a big deal, is to have everyone available, and this game does it. The cards are fantastic. The cards are somewhat inexpensive, and so yeah, it's the full package. Payoff pitch, I think, is the full package. It really is. I won't like Here's the Pitch because they're a little bit bigger. Yeah, I've seen some people play it. I haven't looked into it yet. Here's the Pitch, and there's a whole bunch of baseball games that I haven't played yet. And I might, but like I said, I've kind of settled into, I got 5 or 6 baseball games I really like. Obviously, Payoff Pitch, Strat I like, Apple I like Pocket Pennant Run, and I'm hoping that they'll square that away sooner than later so I can play the third version. I do like Back to Basics Baseball, which is a Downey game that comes with every season and every team and every player. I do like that. What else do I like to play? Season Ticket, of course. So I got a whole bunch of games that I really enjoy playing for baseball. So and I like playing new games. So eventually I'll branch out and try some other games. But for the most part, boy, this Mike Lum card, I'm not impressed with Mike Lum's card. I don't know how many games he played. Oh, he only had 22 at bats. Not a very busy card from Mike Lum of Atlanta. Darren stops by. Hey, Darren, good to see you here. And you just got the new the hockey mat, right? And what game you going to be playing with that, by the way? So I saw that you finally got that in. I was interested to see what you're going to be getting for games. Are you playing Hockey Blast? Are you playing Appa? You know, just kind of interested what you're going to be playing with those cards. So we got San Diego here. I had a San Francisco in here. This is why I go through this, because I make mistakes. I don't know anybody on San Diego. San Diego's not a team that I just never knew much about. San Diego and San Francisco were just a couple of teams that were out there that, I mean, you knew the Dodgers, you knew the Cubs because you had WGN. The Cardinals you kind of knew a little bit. The Mets, of course, because they're here on the East Coast. But the San Franciscos and the San Diegos and teams like that, never really knew much about them. All right, so we're gonna go to Shea Stadium now and take a look at the Mets. Okay, so you're gonna play Hockey Blast. Nice. What seasons do you got? And are you playing the Express or are you playing the full game? I'm interested to see. Or are you playing both? I like the Express, although the scores can get run up ridiculously high against bad teams. So there's some people that were kind of coming up with their own little homebrew rule as far as capping how many goals you can get in a segment, because play the Kansas City Scouts and you're going to score 10 or 11 goals every time. Joel Youngblood, didn't he play for the Rams? Lee Mazzilli. Alrighty. So we have Shea Stadium for Robert, all put away here. Last couple teams, and then I'll pull out my last one. I don't know if I'll do the thing of the next one, but I'll show you what I got. The Dodger Stadium. Pepe Frias. Rick Monday's in there. Stephen Gary. Steve Yeager. Again, these are all guys I know because they went to the World Series. Davey Lopes, Sutcliffe. Dusty Baker. I always like Dusty Baker as a player. All right, so I did a pretty decent job of sorting these out. I only had the one guy that I messed up. And that was San Diego and San Francisco, which is pretty easy to do. Okay. And again, they look so good, don't they? When you get these all stacked up, don't they look good with all the ballparks on there? They're just so nice to look at. They really are. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna do Montreal. And Joshua says it's lots of fun to hear all these ball players' names from back then, isn't it? Then that's why it's fun to go through this. I mean, it'd be nice if they all come in like Appa and they were all done. But sorting through here, you go through some things and you visualize maybe a game you saw on TV, or like I have all the baseball cards and I kind of flash back to the baseball card that they might have had. And it's just kind of a fun little trip down memory lane when you do something like this. It's just a good time. It's a feel good time. It's like getting on YouTube and watching some things from the past, you know. Some guys you know, some guys you just don't know. Some guys like, oh geez, I remember him. And some guys no clue, like Grant Jackson. I don't know Grant Jackson on the Expos. Andre Dawson I do know. So there's a few guys on here that's kind of neat. And let's see, PJ, what do you got to say there, PJ? Let me just wrap this one last team up and we'll take a look at the PJ comment. All righty, so Jeffrey Leonard, there was a guy I played hockey with named Jeffrey Leonard. San Francisco. Make sure I don't have any San Diegos in here. Chili Davis. I thought he was a newer guy. Again, I don't know many San Diego or San Francisco guys. Enos Cabell. I used to call him Cable, and they corrected me. I think Ed Meek corrected me on that. San Francisco. Joe Morgan, 38 years old with San Francisco, huh? Interesting. I did not know Joe Morgan played with San Francisco in the twilight of his career. And we're done with San Francisco. All righty. So Grant Jackson was on the 79 Pirates. We are family. Nice. Okay, so here's that. So now here's my other one. So this was 81. What do I have over here? As PJet says, Hawaiian-born Mike Lum, middle name Ken Y. The ridiculous trivia he remembers from reading the back of the baseball cards. The back of the baseball cards were the best, weren't they? Weren't they the best? I remember reading one time, and it said, the game between so and so and so and so and whatever year it was, they played the entire game with one ball. I mean, they didn't lose the ball. And back then, they didn't replace them every pitch like they do nowadays. And I don't know how true that was, but it was kind of neat to hear. But yeah, the things on the back of the baseball and the hockey cards, they were so good. All righty, so let me take this one from the top, and I don't want to wreck anybody here. Be careful with this one here. Can I catch this? There we go. Oh. I don't want to scratch any of the cards. Come on. All right, so here's this. All righty, so we're getting there. Boy, my dog's going up and down the stairs. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's a heck of a night. All righty, so this one, this season is the last season I have for payoff pitch. So I almost have all the seasons in my wheelhouse. And I have 1977 is my other season here. And so we're going to start laying out my 1977. So I got Rudy May, George the Boomer Scott for Boston, California, Baylor Moore, Chicago with Richie Zisk, and Cleveland. And then we got Detroit, Kansas City, Milwaukee, Lyman Bostock. See, now we're talking here. Lou Piniella. See, this was my era of baseball. It really was. Seattle, Sandy Alomar, Dave McKay with Toronto. Toronto. This was this the rookie year for Seattle and Toronto? I think it was, wasn't it? Rick Dempsey and Tippy Martinez. I think this was the first year, right? 77. Was this the first year for Seattle and Toronto? I could be very wrong, but it might be. Alrighty, some more National League. Then I got some combined totals. And here we go. Oh, the drink of choice tonight is the Polar Orange Vanilla is what I got going on tonight. I love these little seltzers things here. Detroit, Kansas City. Doc Ellis with Oakland. And I have some National Leagues here. There we go. Wrigley Field. So the 77 expansion. Okay. So that was right. So it was Seattle. And now, what about the Pilots? When did the Seattle Pilots? I know they were a team. I don't know much about them. Oh, Freddie Lynn. Freddie Lynn just comes through for me when I play the Red Sox. I love Freddie Lynn. I was playing that Strat Max, and Freddie Lynn coming through for me all the time. Dick Drago with California. Boy, he got around, huh? Buddy Bell, always like Buddy Bell. So let me see if I can get some more here. Detroit is in line 2. Detroit. Doug Bird, Sixto Lescano. A lot of Brewers here. Couple of oh boy, what's going on here? So I got this is Kansas City. All right, so I'm messing this up. All right, so there's Milwaukee right there. Good thing I caught that. Mickey Klutz from New York. Oakland. Skip Jutz from Seattle. So I'll have to play some Seattle because if they're the expansion team, they're pretty bad. So I think I'll have to do that. Hang on 1 second here. Jim Cott. It's Cott, right? Jim Cott. More National League dudes here. Alrighty. Okay, so the 1969 Pilots. So now, where did they go? Did they just evaporate, or did And I'm honestly, I don't remember what happened to them because that was before my time. So the Pilots. So what happened to the Pilots now? So they played, and did they go to somewhere else? I probably know the answer to this because we were talking baseball with a couple of authors. Yankee Stadium in 77. Jim Palmer. Again, this is fun going through the stuff like this, isn't it? So now I get Jimmy Rice for Boston. Nice. Bosley from California. I don't know. Rico Cardi for Cleveland. Dennis Eckersley for Cleveland. Nice. I always like Dennis Eckersley too. Greg Nettles is in here. Curious about the 77 Seattle ballpark card. It was a pop-up home run to right field back then. Oh, the high wall wasn't built yet. Oh, is that well, when I get to that, I'll pull that out when I get to that card there. And does this game have fielding numbers for players? Curious if they have Reggie Jackson in the outfield being not so good in 77. I will, when I get to that, I'll pull it out. They do have positions, and I'll show you the positions when I get to Reggie. I will pull that out for you. Crusader. All right, so we got Detroit, Oakland. Well, my piles are not that good this time. I don't know why. Texas, and then National League, Cincinnati, and Busch Stadium. There we go. Not sure if they have it, but years ago, Amazon made an available DVD of the 1977 season of This Week in Baseball. Oh, that would be cool. Dun, 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 remember that pitch coming in from right field? I remember that. That was kind of cool. The throw from right field, I should say. That was some good times back then. Life wasn't so good, but the music and the sports were fantastic back when I was a kid. My life wasn't so good. Doc Ellis. I remember Doc Ellis. So this should all be National League. That's the one thing you can count on is it kind of goes American and National. They don't really mix them up too much. All righty. So combined totals. Ramon Aviles for Boston. Now he only 0 at bat. See, this is the kind of the thing that you get with payoff pitch. You got this guy here, right? No at bats, no nothing. So he must have just pinch ran or something, but he's here. He's available. You'll be hard pressed to find somebody that's not in this game. All right, so now we have Houston, New York, St. Louis, Candlestick Park, Kenny Singleton, Steve Dillard for Boston, All right, and we're almost through our first stack over here. And trivia, which pitcher appeared in the first ever game for both Seattle Pilots and the Mariners? I don't know. I'm still trying to find out what happened to the Pilots. They didn't turn into the Mariners, right? Because they were two new teams, I think. Because I was a kid and I remember getting I think I got a Mariners hat because I like the expansion teams. And I don't know if I had a Blue Jays hat, but I liked the little pitchfork that the Mariners had. I remember that. I was like, that's kind of neat. And Seattle was pretty bad, so I'll have to have Seattle play somebody and get trounced, like I like to do in these games. Tom Seaver with Cincinnati. Tom Seaver with New York. What's up with that? How come he's on both? What's up with that? Was he on both? I guess so. Oh, this one doesn't have the dates, though. Sometimes they have the dates and sometimes they don't. So, So this one doesn't have the dates. Bummer. Bummer. All right, combined totals here. Pilots became the Brewers. Oh, okay. Okay. And if you have Apple TV, they have several this week's in baseball. Nice. I think I should look into that because they have they got a Godzilla series that I wanted to see, and people said it was pretty good. So I don't know if I should check that. Oh, here's Seattle. Okay, somebody wanted to see Seattle ballpark, right? So let's take a look at that. So the Seattle ballpark. So that's what you got on the card. So if I look at it here, yeah, the wheelhouse is 1-67 and 1-72. So yeah, so if you draw the ballpark card, chances are you're going to be in the wheelhouse. Yeah, so that was a good catch on that. That was a very good catch. All right, so we got Baltimore now, and Boston, California, Chicago. Dwayne Kipper Kuiper. I don't know how to say his name, so I say it both ways. Oh, there's Mark Fidrich, 23. The Bird in 77. More Kansas City. Robin Yount. Always liked Robin Yount, too. So, yeah, I'm going to have Toronto and Seattle get smashed. I like playing the bad teams. All right, so here's all the way to St. Louis. And then I get my combined totals. And then I go back to American League. Kipper is still calling games for the Giants. Nice. Minnesota, Seattle, then back to the National League. Exhibition Stadium. Oh, yeah, you can see the difference here. Look at the wheelhouse difference here. You got 1-46, and then 1-67, and then 1-48, 1-72. Yeah, so Kingdom's going to be fun to play in. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I wouldn't have picked up on that until you mentioned that. So that's kind of neat. All right, stack 2 is done. Fran Healy of the Yankees. Catfish Hunter of the Yankees. Nice. The only other season I think I'm going to get with payoff pitches, they ever come out with 74. I would like to get 74. I don't know why, but I do like 74. It's another one of my favorite seasons. 75, not so much. I don't know why. But 74 I did like. All righty, combined totals for Barry Foote, Ken Rudolph, Tom House, and Tom Underwood. We'll go over here. And there's a good documentary on the history of the Pilots on YouTube. It's called A Short Flight into History. I will probably have to check that out. Again, I like those teams that don't exist anymore. It's always just been a fun thing for me to see that Royal Stadium. Alrighty, so now we start working on the other piles here. So we have National League. And again, this should go all the way down to the combined totals, and it does. And then I should go back to the American League. Tom Seaver combined totals. Alrighty. Bo Diaz had 1 at bat. You will get to play Bo Diaz if you like. Now I'm back to the National League already. County Stadium, Three Rivers Stadium. And Baltimore, Al Bumbry, Mike Flanagan, Butch Hobson. He was terrible at third base. Oh my gosh. Every time he tried to play the ball, it felt like he threw it away. Chuck Scrivener for Detroit. Didn't know Chuck Scrivener. Tom Bergmeyer. Dave Kingman with the New York Yankees. I did not know Dave Kingman played with the New York Yankees. Dick Pole with Seattle. Interesting. Alrighty, so we're going down the stack a little bit more. This is more national. Alrighty, so we get the combined totals now. And Kipper's only career home run to Steve Stone. Interesting. You probably never get to duplicate that if you played this Cards and Dice, though, right? Comiskey Park. I still like the ballpark cards in this game. They're the best. Andy Etchebarren. Sounds like Itchy Bum. John Walkenfuss. Rod Carew. There we go. Always like Rod Carew. Mickey Rivers. Oh, pain in the ass. He was a pain in the ass, Mickey Rivers. Especially when he was with the Yankees. So now we're back to National League. Kingman was on 4 teams: the Mets, Padres, Angels, and Yankees. I did not know that. That's a lot of teams. He was a good hitter, too. I don't know why he started bouncing around so much, but he always seemed like he was a guy that was going to... It's like a goalie in hockey. You know, it's like, how did this guy play for 6 teams? It's like, was he good enough to play in the league, but just not good enough to... I don't know. And we got Baltimore and Boston here as we're kind of flying through our 1977 season. And Kingman was on 4 teams. Okay, interesting. And BR stops by. BR, good to see you. As we have Bill Lee going to the Red Sox here. I'm just unboxing my Christmas present here, which was 1981 and 1977 payoff pitch, and I'm putting them all in. Sorting them is what you have to do. As much as a pain it is really kind of fun going through every single player and seeing the guys. Gaylord Perry, 39 years old. It's just fun stumbling on stuff like this. It really is. And then I go back to the National League. Okay, Bruce Bochy combined totals. It's fun seeing the guys that played on different teams. There we go. Gary stops by. Hi, Gary. And Bear said he saw him on the Padres when he started a brawl with Mick Kelleher, and the nickname Killer Kelleher. Interesting. Dave Bergman for New York. Frank McCormick of Seattle. Jeffrey Leonard with the... I was going to say the Rams. It's the Dodgers, though, right? Alrighty, so I got my last few stacks here. I'm going to take a little bit here. Again, these cards, best cards in the business, by far. Their colors are great. The thickness is good. It's got a little bit of semi-gloss on it. They're really good. I don't know how he does this so inexpensively. I don't want to use the word cheap because cheap is not the right word. These are just inexpensive. And you usually get what you pay for. Holy cow, you get way more. when you get a payoff pitch set of cards. Like I said, I started printing them out myself when I started to do this. Back in the day, because I bought a whole bunch of PDFs from them. Now they were dirt cheap. And so I printed out 79 and I started printing out 86, and then I ordered a set of cards. And when I got the cards in, I was like, oh, forget it. I am not going to be printing out any of my own cards. I'm going to be getting their cards because their cards are so much better. And the amount of time it took me to print out all those players and all those teams, I didn't save a dime. I really didn't save a dime, and I get much better cards coming from Joe. So yeah, yeah, I only ordered it. There's some things I like PDFs, and there's some things I really insist on trying to get the from the manufacturer, and this is one of them. Probably the same with APA. I don't know if I'd want to print my own APA cards. I know they're more expensive, but I don't know if I'd want to print APA. There's something about baseball. There's so many different teams and players that you can be printing all day. Oh, Vida Blue. I did see him. Vida Blue for Oakland. I always like Vida Blue. How old was he? 28 years old. Vida Blue in 1977. So we're back to the National League. We have Atlanta. Alrighty, so now we get back to Baltimore and Rick Burleson, the Rooster for Boston. I saw him one time as a fan mouthing off to him at Fenway one afternoon. We went to a game, and he came out of the dugout to head out the short, and he turned around, and he mouthed something, and everybody knew what he said. It had an F in it. And the guy just was like, oh, man, you see that? And we're all kids, and we thought it was the funniest thing, is to have one of the Red Sox, say F somebody that was sitting next to us. It was like, ooh, what are you going to do now? Some more nationally. Ron Cey, the Penguin. I always like Ron Cey, too. All right, so we get combined totals here. As we go back to the chat. Dave Kingman, in the words of Tom Minnesota, 3 home runs. That's all. Yeah, I suppose. Am I auditioning for a USPS, a United States Post Office job, Jeff? Maybe. Kingman wasn't the most affable fellow in the locker room. Maybe. Yeah, I'm doing a sorting out here. This is what you got to do when you get the payoff pitch, but it's still fun going through all the guys. It really is. I kind of enjoy this. It's part of the thing. The thing that we do, the thing we do. It's part of the thing we do. I mean, it is kind of nice when APA comes in and it's all set, ready to go. That is kind of nice, but you don't get to go through all the players like you do here and I don't remember this guy playing for this team. That's what I like about this. And then I can hold up a card and you guys can tell me about it because you guys know way more about baseball than I do. I just play for fun. Manny Sanguian. I remember Manny. Roland Office with Atlanta. I always thought that was a pretty cool name. Alrighty, so here's more National League. Would have been a lip reader's delight watching Earl Weaver. Yeah. And he would have hit 500 easy, but he was blackballed for being so outspoken. Interesting. Well, I mean, if you're not hitting, you're not hitting. I mean, if you could be outspoken, but if you're hitting, right? If you're hitting, then you can tell everybody to shut up. Alrighty, so we got our last couple of stacks here. We're making good progress now. Andre Thornton. Oh, this is confusing. Now it jumped over to the National League just like that. Ray Foss, combined totals. Alrighty, now back to the American League. Gary Gray. Oh, I thought that said Gray. It's Gary Gray. I thought it was Gray Gray. It's like, well, that's a unique name, Gray Gray. Is that like Tay Tay? All right, so we have Belanger and Drago with Baltimore. Holy cow, I've seen Drago on all these different teams. What's up with that? Chet Lemon. I like Chet Lemon. I've already said that. Aurelio Rodriguez. Willie Wilson. I remember he was like the fastest guy in the league. Willie Wilson. Cliff Johnson and Larry McCall. Jim Sundberg. I always sing that, don't I? Sundberg. Alrighty, so that's more National League. More National League here. Combined totals. Again, I put my combined totals off to the side. All right. What is this one again? Cuellar? I can never say this guy's name from Cleveland, California. Mike, is it Cuellar? And every time someone tells me, I forget. It's just such an odd pronunciation for that name. And you hit, you won't sit. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If he's hitting, he can be the multiest guy he wants. Oh, come on, Yaz. 38 years old and 77. It's too bad. I caught him at the end of his career. Cuellar? Is that what was I right with Cuellar? Wayne Garland was a pitcher. I remember Wayne Garland. Dennis Leonard. Willie Randolph. I can hear Keith Jackson saying that. Willie Randolph. Keith Jackson was the one that did the World Series, I think. A couple of guys from Texas, Toronto. Now I'm back to National League. And then I have some more combined totals. Alrighty. And Jeff says he played high school baseball against Willie Wilson. He was a power hitting catcher in high school. I just remember him being so damn fast. And he was a skinny dude, too. He was just like the wind. Cincinnati. Dodger Stadium. And Brooks Robinson, 40 years old. I didn't think he was still playing in 77, but he was. Interesting. So I got Riverfront. Fergie Jenkins with Boston. I always like Fergie Jenkins. I still haven't got to Reggie Jackson yet. When I do, I will pull him out. Somebody wanted to see what the Reggie Jackson card looked like. I don't think I've got to him yet. Doc Ellis I got, though. I have Mike Torres. Wow, with Oakland. Tom House with Seattle. I remember Tom House with Seattle. I remember him with Boston, too. All right, so let me scroll down here to my National League. We have some more combined totals. All right, so now we're back to American League. Rick Kruger, Minnesota, Seattle, and then back to the National League. Final year for Brooks, he was a player coach. Okay. And let me see here. I got Lance Parrish, Vern Rule, Frank White, Bob McClure from Milwaukee. Here he is. Okay, Reggie Jackson. So he's just got right field. I don't know if you can see that or not, but he is right field only. Trying to get the shadow out of the way. So there's Reggie. He's rated Era 2, Arm 7, and his range is a C. So it's kind of average, if you will. I forget how the they list everything in payoff pitch. I forget what if higher is better or lower is better, but I think that's kind of all kind of average stuff. Toronto. And I get some more National League. National. Right up to here. I'm back to the American League. Miller, Bhakti, Larvell Blanks, don't know him. Rusty Staub, I know. George Brett, yeah, we all know George Brett, right? Thing is that my hands are all getting kind of chalky from this from these cards here. I'm gonna go wash my hands in 1 second before I finish sorting them. All right, so Texas, Toronto. Going back to the National League. All righty, here's that. Wilson was supposed to go play football at Michigan. He was a man amongst boys in football, really. There's a lot of guys that were like two-sport athletes, and this, if you're good, you're good, Detroit, Oakland, Texas, back to the National League, to the Astrodome. Tom House surrendered Hank Aaron 7. Oh, he did. Did not know that. 7-15. So Tom House. And what team was that? He wasn't playing with Boston at that point. Bill Campbell, I know. Johnny Grubb. Rub-a-dub-dub. Johnny Grubb. John Mayberry. Remember that from Opie. All right, and back to the National League. And the last stack here. Then I'm going to wash my hands, and then we'll sort out the American League. All right, so this should be my last go-around with the American League, and we'll take one final look at them. Oh boy, I got that messed up. There we go. Seattle, Toronto. Got National League to Shea Stadium. And Al Downing gave up the homer, and House caught it in the bullpen. Okay. Chicago. Phil Mankowski. Jack Morris. Cookie Rojas. Come on. You got to love Cookie Rojas. 77. We're doing 77. Chris Chambliss. Don Gullett. Rob Piccolio. Piccolio. I don't know how to say his name. Alan Ashby, I remember. All righty. So we're back to National League. Not a lot of National League guys here. Combine. All right. So this is the last run. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we'll do the counting here of the American League. Atlanta, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, and then Arlington Stadium. All right, give me 1 second. My hands are all kind of yucky here. All righty, so now we'll wrap up the American League, and then National should go pretty quick. It was Downing. I knew House had something to do with it. He was Aaron's teammate. Oh, okay. 1977, the year of the Midnight Massacre, worst trade in baseball history. Which trade was that? Let me know. Seriously, I probably remember it, but Seaver for Zachary Henderson Flynn and Dan Norman. Interesting. Bert Campaneris, Doc Ellis. There's some good Texas guys here. I think I may have told this story before while we're kind of talking stories. I used to like, when I was a kid, we'd spend the summers at my grandparents' house, And you go upstairs to bed, and he had a little transistor radio. My grandfather did, and I would listen to it, and I would have that transistor radio right in bed with me, and I would listen to either talk radio or whatever I could pick up. And a lot of times the Red Sox were playing, and it was something about them playing in Texas. It just one of these memories I have as a kid. And every time they played in Texas, it was just so, I don't know what the word is. It was soothing, I guess is the word. So I'd be listening to the ball game on the radio, and they'd have the ambiance in the background, but it was just so soothing having the game from Texas on the radio. And no other ballpark did that. Not Boston or anything, but the game from Texas, how they had it mic'd up, it just was really a soothing sound when I was a kid. And I still love to listen to ball games on the radio as a kid. And like I said, just like one of those memories you have. And I still remember exactly what the radio looked like. And I think if he was still alive, he'd probably still have that thing. It just was a little dial that you spun, and you get the Red Sox game and listen to the game. And this, when they played Texas, it was always an hour or two behind us, so we'd be in bed, at 8, 9 o'clock, whatever it was. It'd be dark out, window would be open, and I'd hear the crickets outside, and I'd be listening to the ball game. It was just a very relaxing time. Minnesota, okay. Jody McDonald, radio personality, said that he hated that his father got blamed for the Seaver trade. Interesting. Brock started as a Cub. He did he? Interesting. What year was that he started as a Cub? Cubs traded him to their hated rivals. Nice. I remember when I was a kid, we went upstairs to my neighbor's house, and I brought all my baseball cards, and I'm laying them out. And this is probably 74, 75, something like that. And I laid them all out, and I'm looking. He's like, "Oh, this guy's with this guy. This guy's over here now. And this guy," and he like mixed up all my cards, and he put all the guys on the correct teams. And I went down. I remember going back downstairs to our apartment. I'm like, I put them all back. I was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, I just want to have them all on the correct team. I don't care where they're playing right now. It's like, if this guy's got a uniform on and hat on, if he was traded, so what? And so I had to put them all back. And he meant well, but I was like, yeah, you know. So 62 is when Brock started playing. Interesting. All right, so I get my Tigers now. I always like the Tigers too. We saw more American League East teams, when I grew up. So that's why I know a lot of the Tigers and the Indians and the Yankees, and I think the Brewers were in our division too. So I saw a lot of them. I used to go to a handful of games as a kid. I don't remember if we took the train, if we took a bus. I don't remember how we used to get to the Fenway Park, but I remember seeing a few games. I think I saw them play the Mariners or the Blue Jays one day, and I think that's when I bought my hat for the Mariners. And I think there was 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded, and Yaz come up, and he singled in the right field to win the game. I remember that. That was kind of cool. But it was against a bad team. Like I say, I want to say it was like one of the expansion teams, and maybe that's why we went. Because like I remember I went to a Bruins game against the Washington Capitals, and they beat them 5-2, and I'm like, well, that's why you got tickets, because it was a bad team. You weren't going to get Bruins Canadians tickets, back then, but you could get Bruins Capitals. It's like you could get Red Sox Seattle, Red Sox Toronto tickets. All right, so I got my Red Sox here. I know most of these guys. Denny Doyle. I think I remember the time Denny Doyle hit a home run to right field that like hit the bottom of the pole. Like it couldn't have gone any lower. you know, the Denny Doyle hit that day. Go back to the chat room. I think Brock was the only player to hit a home run to dead center at the Polo Grounds. I guess he would be playing at the Polo Grounds back in the day, right? So before Ricky Henderson, there was Lou Brock. Yeah. Lou Brock came up in September of 61. I just remember he just stole a lot of bases, you know. I remember the little batting helmet that he wore too. Now, did he play anywhere else after the Cardinals, or was he Cardinals only? Some of these guys moved along a little bit in their career. Was a lot of White Sox here. Holy crap. I'm going through this and there's a crap load of White Sox. Holy crap. I mean, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 White Sox. 45 carded players for the White Sox. Holy smoke. That's a lot of dudes. But you get them all with payoff pitch. All right, let's go to Kansas City now with Cookie Rojas on top. Yeah, I can see that there's not nearly as many Royals as there are White Sox, you know. Bob Uecker once joked that after hitting a home run off a Koufax, it would probably keep Sandy out of the Hall of Fame. That's funny. Kansas City here. Al Cowens, Larry Gura, Hal McRae. I know all these guys. UL Washington. I thought he was another speedy guy. Speed of, oh, what is his speed here? Runs a 6. Okay, Willie Wilson runs a 7. Yeah, Willie Wilson was another fast guy. Kansas City had some fast guys. All right, I'm going to leave Cookie Rojas right on the top because I like Cookie Rojas. Just the Cubs and the Cardinals for Brock. Okay. I wasn't sure what he had there. Wasn't the best fielder? Well, he could run. That's all he needed to do. Uh-oh, I screwed this up. That's, boy, they look the same. Kansas City and Milwaukee. I almost messed those up. All right. Good thing I caught that. So we'll put that here. We'll do Milwaukee next. There's a lot of Brewers here as well. Holy cow. Yeah, if you like as played, this is the game to get. They just have everybody. Milwaukee. Don Money. I like Don Money. Moose Haas. Come on. How can you not like a guy named Moose? Bob McClure. There we go. And Bush opened in, I can't read this right. Bush opened in 64. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna put my my ballpark card on here. My favorite part. The ballpark card. Again, they look so cool, don't they? They're just so good. All right, who do I have next? I got Toronto. And someone, like I say, brought up the Seattle Kingdome. Yep, the wheelhouse is huge. Absolutely huge in the Kingdome. So we're going to have to do something with that. I played a game between Toronto and Seattle. I don't know what year it was. Parrott was pitching. And I played an inside pitch on the computer. And again, still not sure if I was playing it right. But it was like 7-5 in the first inning. And by the time the third inning came around, it was like 13-8. It was just ridiculous. These pitches were just so bad. I think I took Parrott out in the second inning for Seattle because he was just getting lit up by Toronto. Then the Toronto guy wasn't much better. So, oh boy. I don't see Oakland. I get nervous when I'm missing the ballpark card because that's my favorite. But it's got to be here somewhere. It's probably mixed up in the National League cards. That's what happened last time. Was it Abbott or Parrott that pitched? Now that I went by and I saw Abbott, it could have been Abbott instead of Parrott, but it was a bad start to the season. I don't think I ever did much with it. All right, there's the Kingdome. Just a couple more teams to go. Probably 79. Yeah, I think it was 79. Now that you mention it, I think it was 79. Oh boy, and I'm missing California too. Oh boy. Yeah, it probably was 79 because I think I was poking around on the computer with that, and that's one season I would definitely play is 79. So these Doug DeCinces, Dennis Martinez. This is going to be a fun one to play. I don't think the Red Sox are that good. Dave Skaggs. All righty, so Baltimore. So I'm hoping I have some over here. I hope I have some cards because I'm missing a couple of teams' cards here. All right, so let's go to the Yankees now, and then we'll move on to the National League. Randy Gonzalez stops by. Just finished sorting out your 1989 payoff pitch. Took about an hour. Yeah, I've been here now a couple hours now, and this is my second set. And I've been kind of chatting along the way. And I like to stop and look at the cards. Do you do that, Randy, too? Oh, 1980. Okay, 1980. Yeah, I have that season too. Do you kind of go through the cards and stop and look once in a while? Like, oh, look at that. That's kind of neat. You know what I mean? I do that. Like I say, I'm not in any hurry here. And it's just enjoyable just to kind of flick through the cards. Bucky Dent, Ken Holtzman. So it is because it's just kind of relaxing and fun to go through this and read the names and think about all the games that you want to play. That's what I do. It's like, okay, what games am I going to play? What teams do I want to play? All righty, so now let's start the National League, and hopefully, no computer manages to mess things up. Yeah. All right. So do I have Oakland or California over here? No. So I can only hope that they're in this pile here somewhere. All right, so let's start the ball rolling here. Atlanta, Chicago, Cincinnati, and Houston. I think I did at the top last time, right? And then I got Los Angeles over here with Don Sutton, Montreal, Dave Kingman with New York. So I guess he played for a couple of teams because he's on the Yankees and the Mets, it looks like. Ted Sizemore, who had the absolute worst baseball card I've ever seen in my life. I do remember that. Dave Winfield with San Diego. We got San Francisco. Or is it Sizemore or Simmons? One of these guys had a really, really really awful card. It was just a bad picture. All right, here's Anaheim. Okay, cool. So here's Anaheim. So let me make sure I got all the Angels here. Nolan Ryan, 30 years old. Nice. So when I'm done this, I'm going to have to go put something on the TV and watch it and read my Geddy Lee book. I need to get back to that. That is so entertaining. And I haven't even got to the Rush stuff yet. I'm still dealing with his childhood growing up. He hasn't even talked about the band yet. And that's like probably 90% of the book, so that's going to be kind of fun. All righty, so we got the Angels here. Have the Angels played anywhere but Anaheim Stadium? I mean, that's what they're listed here. Did they have I thought they might have played somewhere else. Or am I wrong? I could be very wrong about that, but I thought they played somewhere else. It just seems like a long time to play in a stadium like that. All right, Atlanta. I don't play very many Atlanta games. That I do know. Atlanta's like the White Sox. They just never make it to my table. But maybe I'll have to play some more. Some more of these teams I don't play. Give them some love. That's what I like to do. If you notice, that's why I play the weird teams, because I do like to give them some love. Everyone plays the good teams. It's always fun to give the bad teams a little bit of love. So, Dave Winfield before Steinbrenner tried to ruin his career. So you guys know all this stuff. How do you guys know all this stuff? Nino Espinoza for the Mets. John Candelaria. Didn't the Angels playing in a Wrigley Field in LA? I'm not sure. It seems like a long time to be playing in the same ballpark. That's why I ask. Joe Ferguson, wasn't he the running back for the Bills? Bill Russell? Lot of names that you see in other sports here. It's kind of funny to see. Randy Lurch. Oh wow, I haven't seen Randy Lurch in forever. Willie McCovey. Remember Willie McCovey. Rick Monday back again. Felix Milan. Steve Carlton. Biff Pocoroba. Now Biff. Joe Morgan with the Reds. Doug Flynn and Fred Norman. There we go. We still got a whole bunch here. Thought I was getting close to the end, but I guess I have a couple of big stacks still in front of me here. Manny Mota. Remember that from Airplane? Now batting, Manny Mota. Mario Mendoza. Jucket's favorite guy. Right? I think it is Jucket's favorite guy. Now I'm getting a little bit of speed here. Kent Colvey. San Diego, San Francisco, St. Louis, back to Atlanta. Boy, then we're bouncing all around here. Roland Office again. Ray Knight. Lloyd Bannister and Davy Lopes. And here Keith Jackson. Davy Lopes. Ed Kranepool. Gary Templeton. 1986. Yeah, the Dodger Stadium. I remember that. Yep. Yep, tried to light the flag on fire, and he kind of swooped in and took it away from him. I remember seeing that clip. Well, I could be a card dealer at the casino by the time I'm done here, right? What happened here? No. Oh, Marco. I didn't see Marco come by. My feed stopped here on my phone. Wrigley Field was a home run paradise. Interesting. Oh, yeah. So they'd have to have the home run series there, right? As Marco comes by. Yeah, Marco, I'm doing unboxing here of my my Christmas present. So this is the 77 payoff pitch cards. I just did 70. I just did 81 a couple of minutes ago. I'm just wrapping up. Oh, Oakland. Ooh. I need to pull that out here so I have an Oakland one. Wasn't I still missing? Wasn't I still missing a team? Maybe not. Did I find them both? I thought I was missing Oakland. Oh, this is Oakland. Never mind. Okay, so I am missing Oakland. So these, oh yeah, okay, these are all the Oakland A's. Still waiting for the. Oh, here it is. I hope. Is it? Is it? Yeah. All right. Oakland Coliseum. Now I have Oakland. I was like, why are all these Oakland guys here? So I finally found my Oakland card here. So now I think I have them all. Best Royals team 77. Well, I'm going to be playing that best Royals team. I don't know what I'm going to do for projects though. That I'm not sure of. Because so many things I want to do. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably play the 81 playoffs out. That I think I'm going to do. Because there's a lot of playoff games, and those could be kind of fun. Tommy John. Greg Luzinski. Some good names here. Dave Roberts. Bake McBride. Yep, there's some guys I remember. Steve Swisher. Johnny Bench. Oh, Johnny Bench. I get to play Johnny Bench. I like that. Dan Norman is here. Taylor Duncan. John Stearns and Barry Foote and Jim Longborg are here as well. Dave Parker from We Are Family. Lou Brock. There's Lou Brock right there. And he's 38 years old, Lou Brock. Rick Ruschel. Joe Niekro, 33 years old. Steve Garvey is 29 years old. All righty, last couple of piles here, folks. We're making our way. Cincinnati, Houston, Los Angeles. Steve Henderson. Tim McCarver from Philadelphia. Jim Fregosi, I remember him. Thought he was a pitcher. I guess not. All right. Joel Youngblood, again, football player. Bobby Mercer for Chicago. Raleigh Eastwick, I should say. Keith Hernandez, I remember. Pete Rose, 36 years old. Third base only, huh? I thought he played more than third base, but Warren Cromartie. Mike Phillips, Bobby Boone, and Gene Garber, Obama Moreno. I remember all these guys. John Denny for St. Louis. Okay, Fregosi. What do you say? Fregosi, who was the Mets got for Nolan Ryan? San Diego, Ryan Greer. Tom Paciorek. Bill Buckner with the Cubs. Mike Lum back again. Oh, he's with Cincinnati this time. Last time he was with Atlanta. Lee Mazzilli. Mike Tyson. I didn't know before he went into boxing, he was a baseball player. Pretty wild, huh? Jim Morrison, before he sang for the Doors, he played some baseball. Dave Concepcion. Jerry Koosman, if you're looking for him, I got him. If you're looking for Jerry Koosman, I got him. Gary Maddox. All righty, here's my my last stack. I'll just cut that in half and fly through this. And one last. So Tommy Seaver, 33 years old. So it's just what to play. You know, what am I going to do? Tom Seaver with the Mets. Mike Schmidt. Bill Garner. Bobby Valentine. Interesting. Rick Auerbach. I thought that said Red Auerbach. I was like, man, I didn't know he played baseball. Merv Retman with San Diego. San Francisco. All righty, here it is. The final. Seaver had a combined card. I don't know yet. I don't think he did. I'll double check. I will take a look at the combined cards in 1 second because I'm actually almost done here. Steve Yeager, Pepe Frias, Tug McGraw, Benny Ayala, Ivan DeJesus, Camp Summers, Boog Powell. Boog Powell, 36 years old, played with LA. I did not know Boog Powell played with LA. Jim Cott, San Diego, Randy Jones, Bill Madlock. Wasn't that a TV show? Joe Torre for the Yanks. J.R. Richard for Houston. Bobby Valentine for New York. Willie Stargell. Who's going to be the last guy? What do you think? Easterly, Bruce Sutter, and Mike Caldwell from Cincinnati will be the last guy. All right, so we get to do the Mets first because we have the Mets on top. So here we go. Oh, the 1977 Mets are pretty bad. Oh, bummer. Because we're going through them right now. Bud Harrelson was on the team. Was Bud Harrelson not a good player? Maybe I'll have them play the Seattle Mariners in a series, exhibition series. That could be kind of fun. Lee Mazzilli. I thought Lee Mazzilli was pretty good. Tom Seaver was on the team. And Bobby Valentine was on the team. So let's see. We'll take a look at the combined cards right now to see if Seaver had a combined card. And the last A's games I went to at the old layout before the Raiders returned against the Texas Rangers, the game after Canseco gave up the home run and the ball bounced off his head. I think I remember that. All right, let's see. Wow, there's a lot of combined cards here. Holy crap. We want to see if Seaver had one. So far, no. A lot of guys I don't know. Mike Torres, I do know. Dave Roberts, Dick Drago, Tom House, Tom Underwood. There is Tom Seaver, combined card. Yes, he did. Boy, a lot of combined totals for 77 compared to 81. Wow. Wow. I wonder how you even compute these compared to the other ones. Look at all the combined totals. Holy cow. Jeepers creepers. Doug Rader. Tim Foley. Combine. Jim Fregosi. Sid Monge. Cliff Johnson. Doc Ellis. Bake McBride. Joel Youngblood. Boy, a lot of combined cards. Dave Kingman combined card. Yep. So yeah, Seaver did have a combined card. Interesting. Mariners should play the Blue Jays post-expansion team. Yeah, I'll probably play them. But if the Mets are that bad, then I'll have to play the Mets against some bad teams too. As Glenn stops by, thanks for coming by, Glenn. We're just wrapping up here pretty much. I'm finishing up. I did some unboxing of my Christmas presents, if you will. So I did 1981 and 1977 here in Payoff Pitch. And I just got to go through to make sure that I have everybody on the right team. Again, the great thing is that you never have to go hunt for a player in Payoff Pitch. As long as you sort them out properly, it's not like if you're playing an early season game that a guy's on another team, is you get that guy's card, and then you don't have to worry about it. Ooh, Los Angeles. So I do like I really do like that. Is when I'm playing a game, I know I have everybody right here, and I don't got to go hunt for anybody. I do like that. After seeing my automatic card sorter, I ordered one too. I am the automatic card sorter. Oh, you talking about the shuffler? Maybe I'll pull that out and show you how that works with the what was I talking about? The fast action cards. I'll do that real quick. Oh, the card shuffler. Okay. Let me yeah, I'll show how that works before I sign off here. Let me just rip through these last few teams. Make sure I don't make any mistakes. Yeah, this is 77, 78, right in my wheelhouse. And we never had any video games. I mean, we had the Atari and the Intellivision at some point, but you didn't play any of these guys here. And I didn't know about Stratomatic back then or app or anything like that, you know. All right, so here's the Reds. All right, so where's my Dodgers now? And I'll put this guy here with Los Angeles, Ted Martinez. Somehow he got on a different team, but now he's back where he belongs. Bill Russell, Manny Mota. I like playing the Dodgers. Ron Say. They were a fun team to watch back in the day. Dusty Baker, Boog Powell. I'm going to put Boog Powell on the top. There we go. Was I a good boy this year? Well, considering all the bad things that happened to me this year, you know, I got a couple of seasons out of it. So hopefully it wasn't that bad. I just had enough bad things happen this year that maybe I got rewarded with a couple of seasons here. The A's owned early 70s, yeah, then got owned in the late 70s, yeah. The A's were fun. That's why I like playing like the 74 A's and things like that. They were super, super fun to watch. And even like the highlights and stuff, they were just so good. And they had a lot of great guys in the team that I enjoy playing. Sal Bando, I think, played. Did Sal Bando play on that team? He might have. There's a lot of guys I enjoy playing. I know Sal Bando ended up on the Brewers, but I think he was with Oakland at one point. Reggie was with Oakland. And this was when San Diego had their Browns. I used to like the Browns. The San Diego. Now I don't know what they are, but I did like the Browns back in the day. All righty, so we're almost ready to pull out the card shuffler, and I'll show you how it works with the fast action cards. It is kind of noisy, though, I will say. If you're playing late at night, it may or may not wake somebody up, depending on where you have it situated in your house. I mean, it's not like a blender, but it was kind of noisy, I thought. Alrighty, Atlanta. Am I ever gonna play Atlanta? You go through somebody's teams, and you ever do that when you're sorting out cards, and you're like, "Am I ever gonna play this team, ever?" You know, it's like maybe, especially early in the season when I play my replays. If I'm playing a whole bunch of different teams or whatever, I'll play the bad teams early so I can get them at least on my tabletop. That core group, the Dodgers, stayed together for years. Yeah, they did. That's why they were kept going back to the World Series against the Yankees over and over and over. I think they ended up winning one of them too, didn't they? I think everybody here in Boston was rooting for the Dodgers. That's for sure. Between the Yankees and the Canadians, my childhood was just a mess. Could never get past those two teams. And then when I get to be an adult, if that's what you'd call me now, then we got by them finally, both of them. All right, so let's get Willie Stargell in the Pirates going here. Okay, 81. Oh, good. That's the season that I got. So I'll be able to play that out and have some fun with that. The only thing is after you do a couple San Diego. Oh, I did catch that. I was gonna say sometimes you don't catch the mistakes because I've been looking at these cards now for a couple of hours now, and they all kind of just blend in together and your eyes get tired. So I'm bound to miss something here, and I don't want to because once I put him away, once I start playing, I ain't gonna find the guy because I'm not sure where he's gonna go. All right, so I got a San Diego dude here. Alrighty, so Victor Bernal, he snuck away. He tried to trade himself, and it didn't work. So we'll put him. He'll be back where he belongs. So I did make a couple of mistakes here. So now I got the Phillies. And yep, I have everything here. Nice. Bake McBride. I like playing the Phillies. I liked their little powder blue outfits back in the day, and I liked the Indians when they were the blood red. I don't know what year that was. And then the White Sox had their shorts. Remember they had how do you slide in shorts? That's nuts. You can't slide in shorts. That was not a good idea. But then again, you're probably nice and cool in the summertime. That's for sure. All right, so that's the rest of the Phillies. 3 more teams. I'll pull out my shuffler, and we'll show you how that works. And we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts. As we got St. Louis. So productive night over here in Studio A. I got my cabinet cleared out so I put all my strat, no, not all, but some of my strat cards over there. So I made some room for payoff pitch. So now I know where everything is. I get rid of some things and cleaned out some things. I had a ton of APA envelopes. I just get rid of them all because of all the hockey and baseball. I have all them done over. They're really nice looking. So I had tons of these. The APA envelopes. I just finally get rid of them. It's like, I don't think I need them anymore. 1976 with the shorts. Another Bill Veeck idea. Interesting. And the Indians uniform, do you think were 75? I just remember them as a kid. I got some baseball cards with them too. It was a weird, weird look. It was a weird red. It was a deep blood red. I suppose too bright of a red would have been too bright, but boy, that was really weird. Even for the 70s, that was kind of weird. All righty, San Francisco. Yep, looks pretty good. And one last team, and of course, it's going to be the Cubs. The Cubs will be the last team. And then we'll shuffle some cards and we'll say goodbye to all our company. And successful night here so far. As we sort out some payoff pitch. And again, I don't think I'm going to need any payoff pitch season for a while. Unless they come out with 74, then I will have to get it. But I have pretty much all the payoff pitch I want. I got to thank the wife for picking this up for Christmas. And there we go. That is that. So let me get my cards in my shuffler. Hang on 1 second. I'll show you how that works. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this right here. I gotta see if I have any pitching cards that aren't so big. These, see how big these pitching cards are compared to my regular cards? They're so big. So I gotta go back in and see if I have any smaller pitcher hitting cards that I got. I don't think I do. Oh, I suppose I could cut them off down here, right? If I did that. Oh no, they'd still be bigger, even if I cut them off right down here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that just yet. But anyway, so here's the card shuffler. Alrighty. So there you go. And your cards are shuffled. And these are the fast action cards, as you can see, for payoff pitch. So this little card shuffler here. Put them right in. Oh, I forgot to put the thing in there. I always forget that. You got to put this thing back in there to take them out. I'm a dummy. So these are the fast action cards for the game I just did, payoff pitch. So let me get these squared away. And again, these will shuffle. Good to go. And it works most of the time. And if I get my my shootout cards, let me see if I can dig those out for you. So here we are. So I got my shootout cards as well. And I have the the really nice looking set of shootout cards with the nice backs. Okay, so you just take those and slide them in here, and then you're done. And you're shuffling, And so the shootout cards are done. So I'm kind of glad that they work for both. I knew it would work for the shootout cards, but I wasn't sure how it was going to work for the payoff pitch fast action cards, but they work pretty well. And then we'll just do these one little quick shuffle. I wish I had this when I first got this. This is the other deck. They're a little bit different, as you can see, compared to the the ones here. And because these, I no matter how many times I shuffle these by hand, I still couldn't get them to shuffle. They still were coming up, you know, 55, 56, 57, you know. Of course, I've got to put that back again. But I just couldn't get them to shuffle. So now that I have this thing, that works out really well. So anyway, that is that. So let me come back over here and say bye to everyone. Go to my extra camera. We'll share that. We'll add to the stage. We'll Oh, I wonder if I took the microphone off. Huh. I could have messed that up. Anyway, I'm going to sign off just in case I mess things up. Maybe when I swap the camera, it might have messed this up. It could have. So I'm going to say everybody bye in case you can't hear me. I'm going to, because I don't know how to fix it. So bye, everyone. Oh, it's good now. Yeah. Maybe when I took away the second camera, it might have messed it up. But I'm going to head out now. I'm going to go back to reading my Geddy Lee book. Thanks for coming by tonight as we had some fun. Just chatting away and sorting some cards, and just that's what we do here sometimes. So have a good night, everyone. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.